So the topic today is Eric Slater and his ladies. And this is not about the personal life of Eric Slater. It is about particular patterns that Eric Slater was known for. But first off, here is a little bit of background about Eric Slater. Okay, so Eric Slater, as most of you will know, so he was born in 1902, the son of Walter Slater, who was the art director at Shelley Potteries from 1905. And originally, Eric was intending to become an engineer, but he changed direction and joined his father at the Shelley Works in 1919. And he studied for a total of 7 years at local art and design schools while working at the pottery, winning Student of the Year in 1923. And I think that's a fairly big turnaround from wanting to become an engineer to becoming an art director. But anyway, that's what he did. And so it was very talented, Student of the Year in 1923. And then he was appointed the art director at Shelley in 1928, aged just 26, succeeding his father. And in 1930, he designed the iconic Vogue and Mode shapes. That's a picture of Eric in the background there. And going on, also in 1930, these 12 lady patterns were among the many patterns attributed to Eric Slater. So these 12 prints were in the seconds wear range, and they've become known now as the Slater Ladies, introduced around the same time as Vogue and Mode in 1930. Half the 12 Slater Ladies patterns are modern and half are historical traditional. This is 9 of them on a sample plate, and the other 3 are on the back of that sample plate, which is in a member's collection. Just a wonderful piece. And here are the 12 patterns in the pattern book. So here is a page from the Seconds Wear book with the numbers, pattern numbers 2135 through to 2146. And each design has a pin dish name against it. For example, the ladies in the sedan chair has got scallop written against it. The one down here, the ladies at the window, has got basket written against it. And the edge finishes of different cup shapes is detailed in the top right-hand corner in that wonderful cursive writing that I can't really read very well. Okay, and then there's another page, another pattern book page from one of the Views and Crests books. And this again shows all 12 designs, but just in black print, not in color. And at the top of the page, it states 1 cup, saucer, and plate of each pattern for tea sets. That's a really important thing to find. Note that the pattern book pages reproduced courtesy of Stoke-on-Trent City Archives. Okay, what do we know about Eric Slater's ladies? So they were entered in the pattern book shortly after July 1930. The pieces all carry the 1925 to 40 Shelley back stamp. The pattern numbers, together with the cup shapes on which they're used, suggest they were made and sold new in the early 1930s. The designs were extensively used on Vogue and Mode shapes, together with the ever-popular Queen Anne shape, and also on Chester, Dainty, Gainsborough, Georgian, Empire, and Regent shapes. All 12 patterns also appeared on pin dishes, although it appears that each pattern was restricted to one shape or another. 5 pin dish shapes altogether, and we saw those specified in the pattern book page earlier. And there was a series of 6 butter pats produced. 5 were in the period dress and 1 in the 30s style. And some patterns were also used on covered honey pots, and some appear on menu stands. And it would be great to find out if anyone has any other pieces that aren't mentioned here. So the pattern number and names, there was pattern number 2135 is the traveller, 2136 is canoe, 2137 woman with parasol, then there's guitar, window, watering flowers, flower seller print. There's a table, there's a woman writing at a desk with a cat, dance, a couple on a balustrade, a woman with a posy in a crinoline dress, and a woman with two whippets. And then we're going to look at each of those coming up. So the first one, pattern number 2135, is called The Traveller. Now the print shows a man and a woman in period dress standing in front of what was called a sedan chair. It's a chair that was carried by people. And I think that the man is actually probably a footman who helped carry the chair. Quite a pretty, very traditional sort of picture. So that was used on Empire, Mode, Queen Anne, Vogue, the square-shaped pin dish, and it was seen on butter pats. So the next one, number 2136, is Canoe, and that print shows a man and a woman in 30s clothes, the man paddling a canoe and the woman with a parasol. I really like this one, a very romantic sort of scene, very pretty. So a contrast, so the first one was traditional, this one was a modern print. Still in the same series though. So this was produced on Empire Shape, Mode, Queen Anne, Vogue, Georgian, and a square-shaped pin dish. Also has been seen on a honey pot. The next one is pattern number 2137, is a woman with a parasol. And this print shows a woman in a 30s dress holding a parasol with a shawl around her shoulders. Again, very pretty print. And this is produced on Empire Shape, Mode, Queen Anne, it's been on a jug, Vogue, and Georgian. And it's on a scallop-shaped pin dish. This one, pattern number 2138, known as guitar, it looks like a lute really. The print shows a man and a woman in period dress again, the woman holding a fan and the man playing a guitar or lute. And this is on a wide range of things, on Empire, Mode, Queen Anne jug, Vogue. It's on Chester, Dainty, Gainsborough and Georgian, and on a scallop-shaped pin dish, and on a butter pat. And the next one is pattern number 2139, known as Window, for the window in the background. So print shows the man and the woman in period dress again, walking past a window. And this is just on 4 types, on Empire, Mode, Queen Anne, and Vogue. And it's on a basket-shaped pin dish and butter pats. And this one is pattern number 2140, known as Watering Flowers. And the print shows a woman in 30s dress, watering flowers with a watering can. I particularly like her apron that she's wearing. She's looking very domestic. This is on Empire, Mode, Queen Anne and the sugar bowl, Vogue, Georgian, and a basket-shaped pin dish. Also a lidded pot and a circular bowl for Georgian. And this one is pattern number 2141, the flower seller. Again, print shows 2 women in 30s clothing, one woman selling flowers, the other buying flowers. Most of the colour is in the flowers in this one. It's very pretty. On Empire, Mode, Queen Anne, it's a known Queen Anne bread plate, a Vogue and Dainty. And the pin dish is a dainty shape. And it's on a butter pat. And number 2142 is the woman writing. I'm particularly fond of this because of the cat under the desk. So the print shows a woman in period dress sitting at a table writing. There's a lit candle on the table and a cat sitting under the table. And this is in Empire, Mode, Queen Anne and Vogue. It's on a dainty shaped pin dish and butter pats and a honey pot. And here we have, again, pattern number 2143. There's a woman and a fan. And the print shows a man and a woman in period dress passing through an open curtain, and the woman's holding an open fan. And this is on Empire, Mode, Queen Anne, Vogue, and Dainty. And the pin dish is oleander shape. It's also on butter pats and honey pot. And back to the modern again. This is pattern 2144, known as balustrade. And the print shows a man and a woman dressed in 30s clothes. Woman is sitting on a stone balustrade and the man is standing behind the woman. They're looking very fashionably dressed and ready for an evening's entertainment. And that's on Empire, Mode, Queen Anne, Vogue, Regent, and an oleander-shaped sweet dish. And back to the period again, on pattern number 2145, this print shows a woman in a crinoline, a shawl over her shoulders, wearing a bonnet and carrying a posy of flowers. This is on Empire, Mode, Queen Anne and Vogue, and fluted Ludlow-shaped pin dish. And this is the last of the 12. My favourite is pattern number 2146, the woman and whippets. The print shows a woman dressed in 30s clothes walking 2 whippets, which are like small greyhounds. Very stylish. And that's on Empire, Mode, Queen Anne and Vogue. And it's on a fluted pin dish, the Ludlow-shaped pin dish. So that is a close-up look at all the prints. And you'll find on the UK Shelley Group's website that Bruce Till has put together a PDF of all the known shapes and patterns together. So this is 9 of the patterns on Queen Anne. There may be some more out there, we don't know, but that's 9 of them. There's a number on Vogue. There's 5 of them on Vogue, which are very attractive, and a Vogue cake plate. There's 5 of them on Mode and a Mode milk jug. There's 4 Georgian ones there at the top and 1 on Gainsborough and the bottom. There's the butter pats. There's all 6 of the butter pats there. They're the only ones that are known to be on butter pats. And there's 2 on menu stands. Sorry about the quality of that picture. So that's the full range of them. And the other thing that you may not notice is that they come in different colorways. So thanks to Vernie for these photos, but this, for example, is the lady at the desk in 2 different colorways. You can see her dress is in different colors there, which is very pretty. You can look at for these sort of small details of difference. It's quite fun. And here's the sedan chair one, the Traveller, and the lady is in a different color and the footman is dressed differently, which is quite lovely. And it's a different color trim on the thing. And even in the background, the door in the background is a different color in each one. So one's got a blue door, one's got a green door. I think it's rather charming. So it's all been hand colored, presumably, and they have gone different colorway with that. Here's the lady with the fan in 2 different colors. I like the purple on the right better, but they're both very pretty. The man's also got different colors on his outfit. This is the window one. There's two different colours. The man's dressed the same in both, but the lady's got a quite different dress on and different colour bonnet. Yellow bonnet on the right and a pinkish bonnet on the left. And a different colour trim as well. And there's three different ones that are at the flower cellar. And again, it's just all in the flowers are different colours, quite noticeably different on that right-hand coloured one with the bright red and yellow and blue flowers, and then the pink and mauve and yellow in the bottom, and much more faded sort of or soft colours on the top left. Then the only difference with the ladies, because they don't really have much colour, is that the lady standing has got a green cloche hat on the top right and a pink cloche hat on the top left, and not coloured on the bottom one. And the dishes have different trim colours as well. But another lovely fun thing to look out for in your collections if you're collecting these is the different colourways. And here's two crinoline ladies in different colours with the different trim, sort of lighter green and darker green, but I think they're very pretty, the different colour crinolines. And that's all of those different colourways I've got. So I've just got a few more of the close-ups. This is my favourite of the Slater ladies, is the lady with the whippets and on a Vogue. I think that's the most striking of these. It really showcases this as very, very 1930. So it's a fabulous print. I love the lady walking and the wind is blowing her scarf back and the whippets looking keen for the walk. I love that one. So that's 2140, the woman and the whippets on Vogue. And that's, sorry, a very poor picture is the woman with the whippets on Mode. This one is from my collection, is 2140, the watering flowers on Georgian. Don't look too closely at that one. It's been glued together with Tarzan's grip. It had suffered a very sad fate of being knocked off the kitchen bench by one of my cats. So very sad, but it still displays okay if you don't look too closely. This is a lovely set, a part T for two, showing the 5 mixed patterns on Empire. So you can see there's mix and match. There's different, the modern, the traditional, different pattern on each of the pieces. And this is from Robin's collection. It's a beautiful, I think it's lovely, but I think it's great that it showcases that these were sort of crazy tea sets. The set had a mix of all the patterns in it. And this is a very poor shot, but this is my Slater Ladies shelf. So basically, my collection has just got one of each pattern in it. So I've really got the one Vogue lady with the canoe, and I've got a couple of the Georgians, which are a bit obscured, a couple of the pin dishes and some of the butter dishes. And I think one of them, that one, the lady in the sedan chair, all I've got's a saucer, but I've got an example. So that's my ladies, my Slater Ladies. And that's it. And thanks. Many of these slides were originally created by Gary Hall for a talk he gave to the Australasian Club back in 2017. And I've sourced additional photos provided by Chris Davenport, Bruce Sandy, including from Bob Nicholsmith and from Vernie Doyle. And, I should say, and also Robin Cox. And also many thanks to Bruce Till for permission to use his pictures from the Shelley Group website.